welcome to Greece, welcome to Thessaloniki, welcome to the French Institute. Thank you a lot for accepting my invitation to join the conversation. Let's get straight to the point. After writing so many books, giving so many speeches, have you discovered anything that doesn't end, doesn't have an expiry date?
Well, many things do not have an expiring date, like love, attraction, desire, the lust for life, and the fear of death. So all those things don't have an expiration date.
But they change as life moves on.
Yes, but in fact we don't change. We get older, we grow old, but we don't change. We always remain the same. We keep a child's brain in an adult body and an old man body. This is a tragedy of aging.
What about the heart?
And the heart is still beating, ready to pound hard for a new object.
You said about the new object. Do you think that people need stable situations, stable feelings, stable, do they search for stability?
Oh yes, of course, society needs stability. They don't want to be disturbed in their functioning, but sometimes the price of life, the worth of life is to change, is to have a new, an eruption of new things, new faces, new bodies, and so we need at the same time stability and changes. And if we don't just have the changes, it's called disorder or chaos. And if we have only stability, it's very boring. It's like Switzerland forever, the same order. But I love Switzerland because it's a beautiful country. But it's not a country where I would love to live every day. It's good for old days and for the vacation, but we need a smart mixture of stability and disorder, a controlled disorder, if it's possible.
What is controlled disorder?
A disorder that doesn't go too far to totally destroy your life.
Let's go to the marriage.
To the married?
Yeah, to the married people. You have written that usually people trade vitality for safety.
Yes.
They usually sit on their couch in their living room.
Yes.
They are chasing passionate loves, but they don't think about the consequences. So they need the stability of the marriage, maybe for the safety, but they are still dreaming other things. Why is this happening?
Oh, because there is a gap between the life we are dreaming of and the life we really have. So we have a stable, ordinary, everyday life, and of course we dream of a major change that would blow out all our life. And it's called romance. We all dream about romance. It can be blue romance or dark romance, but this is a dream of democratic societies. We have comfort and order, and we would like a hurricane that carries away our lives. But this hurricane very seldom happens. Most of the time we have a quiet life. But in our dreams, we're like savages or barbarians, and we do a lot of bad or good things which are prohibited by society. So we all live on this chiasm, and I think this is totally normal. But the savage or the barbarian doesn't have to infringe on everyday life, because then you become a murderer or a thief or someone dangerous for society. So we have to find a good balance between those two aspirations. Aspiration for safety, aspiration for adventure.
Why do you think that people are ready to repeat the same mistakes to do the same outrageous choices? Is it because they fear?
It's called neurosis. Yes, so we're all neurotic, and we all repeat the same pattern from the childhood to the old age, and we try to modify it, but it comes back again and again. And after a certain time, it's very hard to change. So you can disguise yourself into someone new, but in the depth of yourself, you're still the same person. And so we have those habits, we have these reflexes, which are always the same. That's how we react to the incidents of life. But a neurosis is not bad. It's good to have a neurosis. It helps you to live, and it frames your everyday existence. So we should not be too critical about towards our own neuroses. It also have a good side on it. It's like cholesterol, you know. So there's a good one and a bad one. Yeah.
Love gives you the force to smash the patterns.
To
smash the patterns, to break the patterns.
Well, yes, because when you're in love, you know, you introduce someone new in your life, which upsets you, which totally changes your habits. But then, if you get into a married life or a couple life, then little by little you forge a third character, which is the sum of two persons, and then it's a new neurosis. So the couple will try to survive and to prolong itself through the years, which is good, and but of course which can also drag a feeling of monotony, repetition. But anyways, there is no perfection. Every stage has its own flaws and its own good sides. And I would add one thing in which concerns writing or art or creation, music, painting. Habits are a very good thing, because you have to work on the long time. You work on years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So if you break your habits and you try something new, the risk is that you don't create anything good, because creation needs patience and endurance, and so it's a very stable job to do. If you write, you have to read books, to take notes, and it takes years. So this is a very good side of stability. Stability brings forth creation.
Do you use AI? Because you mentioned creation now.
Sometimes I talk with ChatGPT. I ask questions.
Like what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who is Pασκάλ Μπρικνέρ?
No, at what age shall I die? Yes. And we have very funny dialogue with ChatGPT. And sometimes I ask them to write a piece for me, a piece of a novel. And but the ChatGPT I have always repeats the same patterns. ChatGPT repeats always the same fictional patterns. It's not very innovative. It's it's always the same story.
It has its own habits.
Yeah, no, it's because it's been downloaded a long time ago, so it's not yet the generative IA.
The question is that in the book, The Paradox of Love, you have written that people doesn't suffer from the lack of feelings. They suffer from this exaggeration that they want to feel all their life with feelings.
Yes, maybe. I don't remember writing this, but it doesn't matter. I think one of the main problems of love today is level of demands that each partner wants from the other. So we would like to have a perfect wife who has many talents, who is a good professional, a good lover, and a beautiful lady, and women also want male partners that would be a perfect, real man, handsome, rich, capable of protecting the family. And this level of demand explains why so many marriages fail, because no one can meet the other partner's demands. You know, we're just frail and weak. And if you're looking for perfection into your partner, you will be very disappointed. So most of marriages fail because of this kind of demand from the lovers themselves or from the spouses themselves.
Now, in 2024, do you believe in marriage? In marriage, do you believe in marriage?
Oh yes, of course, yes. Yes, I know that there have been many attacks against marriage in France and in America, but if you don't work hard, if you don't try to succeed, if you don't try to emancipate yourself from your social milieu, you will never succeed. So I don't believe in fatality, but I believe in merit, yes. We are able to get better with time.
I want to discuss something which is maybe very common in Western society.
Yes.
And I want your opinion on that. So when people get comfortable, when they get used to each other, the time slips away like that. But, you know, they hide things, they pretend that they have a good life, and the time goes on, and suddenly after 20, 25 years, they discover that the life just passed. Why this is happening? Why people, they don't have the courage to chase their feelings, to chase their dreams, and they, you know, they prefer a comfortable life.
Oh, you already asked this question at the beginning. Well, you know, if people are happy with a comfortable life, why would this change? I mean, most people live with someone they know, and why would they exchange a stranger for a person that satisfies them? So even if the life doesn't seem very exciting at first, you know, that's why so many couples last very long. Maybe it's not every day an adventure, but at least it exists, and in case of trouble or danger, the couple is strong, so people stay together.
This would be a situation if the relationship is based on honesty. People usually, they are not honest. So they pretend, they say lies, they keep going their life by lies. This is why I'm asking again.
Oh yes. But do we have to be honest? Do we have to say everything that crosses our mind? Do we have to express all our desires in front of the other? You know, discretion is also a quality of life. Discretion and respect of the other. You know, I'm very divided about your question. Half of myself would say, yes, you're right, we should do exactly what we want and disrupt everything. And the other side of myself would tell you, well, that's how it is, and that's how married people keep going, and they're right to do so. If they're happy like this, why should we change everything? I know that, and there is a third answer, which is a French answer. Many people have a second life inside of their life. They have a lover, she or he, and it's a way to comfort their normal life. So you know, you can have both. You can have a strong and secure married life, and then you can have a life before this, besides this life. And you don't have to, and those two lives don't have to communicate. It's called adultery, the most conventional way to be unconventional. And this is how many people do in every part of the world.
Do you mind if I insist a little bit?
Yes, yes.
Okay. if you are honest with the person that you have in your second life,
Yeah.
and you don't feed him with dreams or her that, I will get a divorce, we will continue. I mean, if you don't sell hope, this is fine. It's a mutual.
Yes, understanding, yes.
Yes, but the people doesn't do that. They are not honest. Usually, in order to maintain a second life, they sell hope to the other part, right?
So, well, if people were honest, there would be no novels, there would be no literature, there would be no movies, because most movies are based on this kind of intrigue. So, I cannot answer to you. Honesty is not a value in fiction. It's a value in life, but, why should we be... So, it doesn't matter. It's, most affairs are based on this mutual lie. But honesty is not very interesting, I think, in life.
Which value is interesting in life?
No, I've seen it. No, it's a very good value. Sorry, I correct myself. Which values in life? Sincerity, authenticity, things like this. And also you should not hurt your spouse, man or woman. You should be very careful with the people you live with. But I think I have answered your question. Is it a personal question you ask for yourself?
I ask only for myself always.
Yes. That's what I could.
Let's go to the last part. Do you think that morality in the Western world allows emotions? I mean, something that maybe it's okay for the heart, it is good for the heart, it is right for the heart, it's not right for the society. How do we cope with that?
Well, it's called morality. That's why we're not allowed to do anything we want. In every society you have a law, you have values, and if you cross the line, you'll be punished. So there is no way to escape that, whether in the West or in other societies. And we all have different values according to our religion or societies, but emotion don't mean anything in terms of social values. So if you're a politician and if you cheat, if you take money, if you are corrupt, you will go to jail one day or the other. And whatever your emotions, how deep your emotions are, and how deep is your greed for money, if you're taken, you will be put away and punished. So there's no life without morality. And so, if you ask a question about our emotions, we always deal with the social morality and our own emotion. It's a kind of compromise. So what are we ready to do to satisfy our emotions, and what do we prohibit ourselves to do in order to remain into the lines? Mm-hmm. And I think social life is a constant negotiation. It's a constant deal between yourself and the social order.
What do you do when you face a problem that is unsolved?
I forget it. When it's unsolvable, no, I forget it. I don't solve it. I try to do something else. I try I pass it. I forget it. If it's not solvable, you don't have to obstinate yourself to try to solve it, because it's absurd. So I try to pose myself on the problems that I can solve. For the rest, I know it's impossible, so I don't want to be stubborn and fight against it, because I would exhaust myself.
Okay, let's move now from love to the real unsolved problems. For example, Middle East.
Yes.
Now the situation is very tough. What is your prediction? Are you optimistic?
Well, Yes, I'm optimistic, but not in the way you think. I think we have a strategic opportunity to get rid of Iran and the Islamic regime, which has brought misery and blood all over the Muslim world and the Western world, even in India, in China, everywhere. So it all started in 1979 with Khomeini and the Islamic Revolution. And if we now can get rid of this regime, with the help of Iranian people, especially women, who cannot stand anymore the Mullah regime, we're not allowed to miss this opportunity. And our main allies in this fight, and it is very surprising, is the Arab regime themselves. Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Emirates, United Emirates, Bahrain, Jordan, because the Muslims themselves are tired of their extremists. So I think it's a pivotal moment, it's a very capital moment. It will be very hard, it will be very bloody, but if the Americans fail to do what they have to do, that is put down a regime that is already in agony, which is already dying, it will be a major fault for them. But besides this, besides your question, I'm in favor of a Palestinian state. I don't know if there will be one at any moment, but as long as the Palestinian movement is related to Islamism, it will never be agreed in the Middle East and in the West. If Hamas is to take power in Cisjordania and Gaza, nobody wants Hamas. And in France, a majority of people backs up Israel, even whatever horrible things Netanyahu has done in Gaza. And so that is a problem. It all comes back to the Islamic Revolution. And we think everybody is afraid of jihadism and Islamic radicalism, and first of all among the Muslims themselves, who suffer a lot of their crazy people ready to die for God.
Tell me something. What about Europe? I mean, Paris, it's not the same city and it's not the same situation as you know, the city that you were born and raised.
Yeah.
So how is it now? I mean, you have all these, right-wing parties. I mean, the situation is also tough in France.
So first of all, Paris is much better today than it was when I was a kid. I didn't live in Paris when I was a kid, but even in the 70s, Paris was very dirty, grey, with a lot of cars. So now the city is much nicer, much nicer than it used to be before. Yeah, you have to recognize that. And so in Europe we have many populist parties, and it's a concern. It's because Europe didn't care about immigration and safety and security. So
sorry for interrupting. Didn't care or didn't take action?
Well, they both didn't care, they didn't take action, and nobody is against immigration in itself. We all need migrants for job reasons, for demographic reasons, but what people care about is illegal immigration. Those thousands and thousands of people who come from Africa and who are treated very bad in our countries. Where I live in Paris, I have tens of Africans who live outside, summer and winter, young guys who are treated like slaves, and I don't think this is a good condition. So we need a regulation of immigration, and that's why we have had so many populist parties of the right wing, right and left also, because in France we have the Mélenchon party, which is also a populist one. So it's a major challenge we have to solve in the 10 coming years. If we don't do that, Europe will plunge into chaos. But I see that the countries like Denmark have taken measures which are very smart. Even Giorgia Meloni in Italy, she is negotiating with countries of origin Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, sub-Saharan countries. That's exactly what we should do. You know, we should settle quotas of migrants from every country, depending on their profession or their skills. And but we have confused two things: the duty of humanity. You know, so you have to welcome people as they deserve and give them food and shelter and health care, and economic utility. But we cannot, as Michel Rocard said, he was a leftist politician, we cannot welcome all the misery of the world. And it's not good for Africans, and it's not good for Europe.
A few years ago we have Brexit. Do you think that Frexit is a possibility?
No, no. Even the most stupid right-wing and left-wing party, Mélenchon or Marine Le Pen, have given up the idea of Frexit. Brexit is a total failure. 60% of the British think that they made a mistake. We knew they knew they were making a mistake, because England is a small country. England cannot do without Europe. And the British saw that America was about to open its arms and say, come back to us, we love you, but the Americans are just a businessman. And the profit with England is very small. Europe is a huge market. So no, there is no Frexit. Maybe there will be a Hungary-Exit when Orban, the friend of Putin, maybe if he wants to go to Russia, let him go. You want to kiss Putin's ass, okay, do it. Mm-hmm. We should not retain him. But in fact, Brexit has been a good warning for Europe.
Yeah, but it was a signal. Do you think that something changed after Brexit in Europe?
Well, little by little, I think the war in Ukraine has waken us up. But you know, Europe is like a huge tanker. If you want to move it, it takes years and years. It's a huge bureaucracy in Brussels. And it's very slow, too slow. Europe has no army, Europe has no government, Europe has no foreign policy. So the army is NATO. If Donald Trump comes back to power, he wants to dismantle NATO, which would be a very bad thing for us. But you know, the progresses are very, very, very small. But public opinions exist to change Brussels bureaucrats' minds. I hope in a good way. Mm-hmm. But well, Europe is better than nothing. It's not so good, but the opposite is very bad, you know.
You were describing the situation in Europe. It's like exactly the situation in marriage. You need a conventional life, but you are dreaming another life. Yeah. This is Europe, no?
No. Can I answer?
If you want.
You recording?
Yes.
No, I think, no. What people blame Europe for is that it has failed to protect them from immigration, Islamist attacks and wars. That's only people who love Europe. Most Europeans are very happy in there because we have a good social system, we have a good health system. And if you go to England, for instance, the healthcare system is catastrophic. You know, people have to wait 1, 2, 3 years to get cancer surgery, so it's a disaster. But in Europe, there is an opposition between the ideals and the realization.
In Bitter Moon, there is one phrase which says, "No pain near you compares to the pain I would feel if I lost you."
Yes.
Do you remember that?
No, but it's nice.
But
no. Yes, exactly. You know, this is the answer about honesty. Well, you know, you can live with someone you love and feel unsatisfied sometimes. And sometimes you may dream of a new destiny with an unknown person, and you say, with that person it would be fantastic. I would escape all the little mediocrities of everyday life, but it's not true. It's not true, I mean. And the depth of attachment to one person is sometimes stronger than those childish dreams of a second or third life. Do I disappoint you?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah. But do what you like. You're very young, yes. But sometimes, if the situation in your home is very unsatisfactory, you have to leave. You know, leaving is the best thing you have to do. If this is a real question you're asking me, take to the door and say goodbye. That's why the rise of marriage for love has been accompanied by so many divorces. Because as long as a union is based on affection and lust and desire, when those elements disappear, so there is no more reason to remain with the person.
Have you ever felt such a transformative experience of pain as the one that you are describing in the bitter moon?
Yeah, probably, but I don't remember. I'm not very gifted for pain. I'm more gifted for happiness and joy. But when I feel pain, I want to escape it. But in life, you very often have to make deals, to make compromises, you know. Do I stay with the same person and there is a price to pay? Or do I leave and maybe the price might be very high and the pain might be worse?
Yes, but everything is a matter of calculation.
Well, everything is a matter of calculation in life. Unfortunately, you know, when you say to someone, I love you, it's a kind of trade. I love you, meaning, do you love me in exchange? What do you give me in exchange? You know, it was an old Latin formula in the Roman Rite. It's do ut des, I give so that you give in exchange. And everyday life is a kind of permanent exchange between two persons or between family persons or between groups and between the state and the citizen. You never give someone something for free. You always you receive something and you have to give something in exchange also. This is the essence of social life.
Do you really believe that? I mean, there is no such thing of unconditional love.
Oh, there is unconditional love for kids.
Another kind of love. No, I mean, love. Leave the kids aside.
No, the kids, no. No, I think the unconditional love is for kids. But of course you can feel unconditional love without any kind of negotiation. Yes, in the first years of a relationship, probably. You'll be ready to die for the person. But then time takes over and puts everything in order. And so you have to find new elements to fuel your relationships, you know. When the senses have been burning for many years, then you have to become adult and base the relationships on broader elements. Conversation. I think in a couple of conversation it may be the most important thing that keeps two persons attached. Tenderness, but you cannot spend your whole life burning in the flames of desire and lust, if this is what you ask.
Yes.
Yes, this is the opinion of an old man to a younger one.
But conversation doesn't mean understanding.
No, but it helps. It helps.